welcome back to my channel, Angela Sews. Thank you so much to everybody that's subscribed so far. It's very exciting. If you enjoy this video, then please like and subscribe. Today is going to be all about my January makes. However, I'm going to include a couple of December ones in as well, as this is my first video, so it's all new, and I thought I could be cheeky and add a few more bits and pieces in. I'll start off with this, what I'm wearing. My lovely mum and dad bought me some material from Sewisfaction. It's a gorgeous quilted Pontoroma. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see the pattern on there, but it is super soft. It's just lovely. It's like wearing a blanket, quite honestly. And I made the Southbank Sweater, which they also gave me the pattern for Christmas as well, which was really lovely of them. It was a really easy make. I made the size 10, I think it was, looking at my measurements. But when I first made it, I made it with the pockets in it. And I follow Amanda I Sew a lot on YouTube and on Instagram, and I'm a little bit in awe of her and her sewing. And she's made a few Southbank sweaters, and she never puts the pockets in because she says it adds a lot of bulk to your hips. And I have to say, I think maybe because this material is so padded and quilted, that's exactly what it did. So I kept it in for a few days, and I wore it a few times, and I love the fact that I had pockets and I could just stand casually with my hands in my pockets, or I pop my phone in my pocket, but it just made my shape look really strange. So because I knew I was going to record this last night, I quickly whipped out the pockets and popped up the side seams so that it was just the normal dress shape. So I'll try and stand back and show you what it looks like. Obviously it's black, so it's very difficult to see an actual image of this particularly. I'm really pleased with this, and I think that I'm definitely going to make this again. I will experiment with pockets again if I make it with a less bulky fabric. I'm not going to alter this pattern at all, because I've definitely come unstuck a few times where I've tried to change things and then I've ruined what I've made, and it would have been perfectly fine as it was. It was just me not being quite so happy with it. But I think if I make it again, I will keep the same size and keep the top the same size, but I might just not grade down a whole side for the waist and the hips, but I will grade down slightly, because whilst I don't want it to be really tight, I think I would like it to just be very slightly more figure hugging. But generally I'm absolutely pleased with this. Material is gorgeous. I would definitely buy this again. I'm pretty sure that Sewisfaction has this in a few different colours. I know that Shona from Sewisfaction has definitely got a garment in this, I think it's a really bright pink colour or a dark pink colour, but it's just beautiful, really soft, and it was really easy to work with. So that was my first make. I'll quickly go and get changed and I'll show you the second one. Okay, so this is my second garment. It's a sew over it heather dress. I made this in a size 10, I think. Oh, I have to check that. And the fabric was actually from, there's this place in Devon called Trago Mills. It buys things in massive quantities and then sells it fairly cheaply. And I happened to pop in there and just happened to go into their fabric department. Don't know how that happened. And they had this material. I'm really still quite new to all of this, so I don't really know what this material's called. I've heard lots of people describing scuba, and I think it could possibly be like that, because it's certainly not a t-shirty kind of jersey material, but it's definitely has a strange feel to it. So it's just like a black with a grey polka dot on it. It's really nice, it's really comfortable, and I don't get too hot in it, but it's nice. So I made the size 10, like I say, and made it all up. I didn't really try it on as I was making it. I just literally went for it and did it because it had so many different pieces. I was worried about messing with it partway through and then it all not quite fitting properly. If I'm absolutely honest, I was really disappointed when I tried it on at the end because the hip area was just huge. It just sort of came out here on me. I don't think that I made the wrong size because I couldn't have gone any smaller across my arms and my chest area, but from roughly my well, from where the tops of the pockets are down was really, really big. It wasn't a big deal, and I did just take the side seams in. However, I think another time, if I make it again, and I would like to, because this was one of the first patterns that I saw and fell in love with and decided that I would really like to make, and I thought it'd be nice for work, but I also thought in a more casual kind of pattern material it'd be quite nice for outside of work as well. So I will be making it again, so I just have to experiment really. So I graded it, I took in the side seams, I didn't do any other alterations than that, and well, this is what it looks like. So hopefully I'll just move the camera slightly around. So I think it was a while ago that I made it, so I'm pretty sure I shortened it as well. So it has the big pockets in here, which are great, but in all honesty, because I have taken it in, I now can't really put anything in my pockets without it showing. If I had a phone in there or something, that would look a bit strange, but generally I'm really quite pleased with it. I have seen another version of this, I think on Instagram, where a lady has actually lengthened the torso so the pockets don't start quite so high, and she's also taken the back in so it slims it down, and it's beautiful. It's really, really nice. At the moment my skills aren't there to be able to do that with patterns, but maybe in the future I might do that. There are no lengthen here lines on the pattern, so maybe I could. I just have to have a little bit of a play around with everything. But that's my second make. I'm okay with it, I'm fairly happy with it, but it's not my favourite make. But I wear it to work, and my lovely work colleagues are always very complimentary about the things I make, and they've said that they thought this was really lovely, so that's got to be a plus. Anyway, I'll get changed and show you my third thing. Okay, this is my third make. This is the Seamwork Astoria. I made this out of a jersey fabric that I bought from Hobbycraft. It's quite thick actually. I don't know what you would call it, because I didn't really take any notice of what it was. I just knew that it was stretchy and it was bright, and I quite liked it. It's quite soft, but it's actually really, really warm. I made the size medium in this, and because of my measurements, that absolutely was the correct one to make. What I would say though is around here, around all of my neck and my shoulders, it really, really fits. But once I'd made it, again, it was very wide here, and the arms were huge. So because the actual top, when you construct it, you actually do the seam all the way down, I basted it first and realised how big it was, and then I just went over it again and just took it into what I felt was going to be right for me. I'll definitely make this again because I really like it, but I will lengthen it slightly. I wear my jeans are quite high-waisted, my ready-to-wear jeans, and I'd quite like to start making some trousers and skirts and things that are high-waisted, potentially a bit more than what I'm wearing now, but because of where my jeans come and how short this top is, and I understand it is a cropped jumper, so it's meant to be short, but it's a bit too cropped for me, and I think just literally maybe an inch just added to the body would just be right for me, and it would just sit just above my sort of widest part of my hips, and I think that would look nicer on me. I really like it. This was a bit of an experiment really, because I've had my eye on this pattern for quite some time, and this material was quite cheap, so I was quite happy to give it a go regardless of how it turned out. And each time I make any garment, especially with jersey, you know, I'm new to putting in neckbands and sewing with jersey anyway, so it's all good practice. But I'll stand up and show you what this looks like. I go behind the settee. I don't know if you can see from there, but it's quite a nice shape. I quite like it. I like the wide band, but literally it's right on my trouser line. So I think just if it was maybe just an inch or so lower, that would look quite nice. But I really like it, and I think this would look nice in some plain fabric, and I could wear it to work with maybe some really nice bright pattern skirts or something like that. I think that would look quite nice because it's just such a basic style top, but it gives you quite a nice shape. So I really like this top. I'll change and show you my next one. So this is the Soho 7 toaster sweater. It's this version that actually came with a magazine, the Sew magazine, and it's the funnel neck version that's up here, version A, I think it is. I know that there's another toaster sweater out there that you can buy. In fact, I've actually bought the pattern now because I really like the versions of it where it's got the raglan type sleeves and the full stand-up collar. But this is the funnel neck version. So the neck just folds over on itself. And this material is quite funky because it's really bright on the other side. I think it's a French terry. I bought this material on a trip. I was driving up to visit my daughter at university, and I happened to go past Birmingham and go into Guthrie Ghani and visit their shop, which was really nice to go and do. Just such a lovely shop in there. It's like a pinky colour with a bit of a grey grain through it, really. I absolutely love this sweater. I like the fact that it's got like these little vents here, and it's got a high-low waist seam at the bottom. It fits really nicely. I was quite short on jumpers and tops and things, so over the last month or so, that's definitely what I've concentrated on doing, is giving myself a few more tops, warmer tops and things, because I seem to be going for the same tops all the time because I didn't have anything else in my cupboard. But I really like it. I would definitely make it again. If you follow me on Instagram, my name's angela.sews on there. I'll put a link to it below. I actually have made this sweater but with a round neck in a pink waffle fabric, but I can't show it to you because it's with my daughter because I sent it up to her. And again, that had the high-low with the vented sides, but it didn't have the funnel neck, it just had the round neck. So I was worried the waffle fabric wasn't quite stretchy. But this material is absolutely beautiful. I wish I remembered exactly what it was called, because I think I would go back and get some more but in a different colour, and make different things with it. But lovely pattern. I'll definitely make it again, and yeah, very comfortable, so I'm very, very pleased with it. Okay, so this is my next make, and the only thing I can say about this pattern, which is the Tilly and the Buttons Agness top, is I just love it. I've only made two. I've made this one, which is my latest make, which I made in December. I made this one earlier in the summer, which is some gorgeous t-shirt jersey from Sew Over It, and I love this one. I wear that one quite a lot too. This material is actually from a company in Devon called Exeter Sew Machine Company. They have a fabric section downstairs from where they sell their sewing machines, and it's quite different for me. I don't wear big, bold, bright pattern stuff normally, and I'm trying to venture out a little bit, especially now that I'm sewing things. I think, well, I should be a bit more adventurous in my style maybe, but whilst also trying to make sure I sew things that I feel will suit me and I feel comfortable in. I think I'm really proud of this make because it just went together really neatly, and it's definitely taught me that sewing something that you've already made just helps so much, because it just seemed to go together so much better and so much easier. I'm really pleased. I had a lot of debate with my family over which of the coloured stripes I should choose as the neckline, and I really liked this green, so I think that worked really well. I'll try and stand up a little bit. Again, sorry, it's a bit not very good angle from where I am, but I love the length of it. I just think it's lovely. I think this is a size 3 that I cut out. If I was making this in a slightly less stretchy fabric, then I would definitely go up 1 if not 2 sizes, because this is really well fitting, but it's the look that I wanted. I quite fancy making, and again, I've not ever worn anything like this. I was a bit worried that maybe I was getting a bit old for it, but my children have assured me that it's fine. I'd quite like to wear like a dunga dress or some dungarees, and I think these Agness tops are just perfect to go underneath them. So I will definitely be making more of these, and hopefully some dungarees to go with them. While I'm wearing this, I don't think I would normally do this, and I think my colleagues in work have a little bit dared me to do it, to be honest. I have loads of jersey left over from garments I've made like this, but not enough of it to make a full-size garment. So I downloaded the Nielson Acacia Pants pattern and I made a pair out of some old t-shirt material that I'd used for my daughter to make a t-shirt several months ago. So I'm gonna flash you my pants, which is probably not very appropriate. Oh, no, I know they're not very sexy, but I had so much joy once I'd finished making these because I couldn't believe I'd made a pair of pants. And elephant pants at that. This fabric was from Hobbycraft. I'm definitely going to make more of these. I think they're just going to be great big bedtime pants, and I need to make some vests or something to go with it because I get quite hot in bed, so wearing a little vest and shorts or something is quite nice. So if I can make my own, that'd be great. Yeah, so there's my pants. I'll show you my next make. So this is the very last thing that I've made, as in the latest thing that I've made. I made a Grainline Studio Linden sweater. I haven't made one of these for myself before, but I have made one in a really funky shark material for my daughter, who's a bit obsessed with sharks. But I just love everybody's makes on Instagram and YouTube, etc. with the Grainline Studio sweater. It just seems like a really nice top to make, and because I was, like I said, very low on jumpers and things, it seemed like a good one to go for. I bought this material from the just really lovely Cheryl from Stitchy Bee. She is so lovely, and I messaged her when I was trying to decide on some fabric. She was just really helpful. She's really lovely. Her website's brilliant, and I love watching her makes and things on YouTube as well. So she's just lovely. This is a waffle style fabric. This is in like this looks quite bright on the screen, but it's actually quite a dusky mustardy colour. It's not overly stretchy, and I was a little bit concerned about whether it'd be okay for a jumpery type thing, but as it's quite loose fitting, I thought it'd be all right. It has got a waistband on it, but obviously it's quite loose, so it didn't really matter. And the cuffs, I just sort of cut them out and held them together and checked that I could put my hand through them. And Cheryl, on her, I think it's a YouTube clip that she's got, because this material isn't very stretchy, she's actually, I totally copied her because she made it and it looked gorgeous. She had made this in this material, in this colour, sorry, and she actually explains how to do the neckband and how to measure for it, so it sits nicely, etc., for this amount of stretch. So I just followed that instead of using the template that came with it, and it worked really well, and it sits lovely, it feels nice. I've washed it, the material hasn't peeled or anything, it's just gorgeous, and I love it, and I will definitely be making more of these as well. I've got a couple of other things that I want to show you, but they're not completely finished. I made this jumper because I was feeling really low. I have fallen in love with sewing so much, and I absolutely love it, and it is my thing that I dream about. I go off to sleep dreaming about it, I wake up thinking about it. I just love sewing, And as I've said in my previous video, I'm a bit obsessed with it and I keep buying stuff and I've just got to get on with making things. And I really wanted to make some ginger jeans, and I bought this material. It's like it looks really grey in the film, but it's actually an olive green stretch denim from Sew Over It. I got the ginger jeans pattern. In fact, my mum and dad bought me that for Christmas as well, and I wanted to make them. I've had a bit of a nightmare with these. I measured myself over and over and over again, and I checked and checked and double checked the size that I should do, and I had to cut out a size 12. And I've started making them. The first thing that came about was the top stitch thread. I think in hindsight I just didn't have a top stitch thread needle, and I think if I had done that, that would have been better. That said, I'm quite pleased with what I've done. I've used an ordinary thread to do the top stitching, but I happen to have a variegated one and it looks quite nice, to be honest. So this is the front half of my ginger jeans without a waistband on, and I don't know if you can see the variegated top stitching that I've done there. I've lined all my pockets with some funky material, which is quite sweet. Thankfully I basted these together instead of sewing them together, and just they're about 3 sizes too big. And I don't really know whether or not just taking them in on the side seams is going to work because of all the pocket detail and everything. I just gave up on them. I just put them down and just thought, oof. And I knew I needed to make something quickly to make me feel better. So that's why I made this Linden sweatshirt. I will make these again, and I'm really hoping that by the time I make my February makes video that I will have finished making these. But I had a pair of Mia jeans that I'd made, and they were just a tiny bit tight just around my calf muscle, and I decided if I could get those to fit well, then I could use that as a good pattern template for the ginger jeans. And I messed around with them and I've really messed them up, and I'm so gutted because I now can't wear them. However, I spoke to a very lovely lady this morning who made a suggestion of why don't I just add some bits in here and there and make it into a skirt. So I might give that a go, but we'll see if I can actually do that. So that's my ginger jeans that I have sort of made and taken apart. Anyway, my youngest daughter really likes big fluffy pyjamas, and she was given a set for Christmas. I think they were Mickey Mouse ones or something. They're really sweet. So when I was in my local fabric store, which is in Plymouth, it's Haberdashery Fabrics and More it's called, I saw that they had this fleece material, and I realised that her pyjamas weren't stretchy at all. They just literally had an elasticated band, and I think they had ribbing around the bottom. And I thought, you know, I can make that. I can do that. So I had this pattern, which was free, with a magazine. It's not the most inspiring looking of patterns, but these trousers, I thought, well, they're just a basic pair of trousers with an elasticated waist. They're made with woven fabric, so they're not in any way stretchy, so I thought I'll just give them a go. So I cut those out in her size, and I've made these gorgeous, really snuggly pyjama bottoms with nice big pockets. Oh, the pockets were squares, and I didn't like that, so I took the pocket pattern piece from the Southbank Sweater, and I used those instead because they're really big and really nice. The only thing I haven't done, I haven't hemmed the bottom. Look, I've even left bits of cotton on them because my daughter was not sure if she wanted them tapered in or just hemmed, or, well, I don't quite know what she wants done with them. So she said, can I just wear them for a little while and decide what I got a horrible feeling they're going to end up being these things that I never ever finish, and that's, I ought to cut that off really because it's a bit embarrassing. But their insides are it's just so soft and snuggly, and she says they are just so lovely. And when I was making them, because the weather's gone really cold here, when I was making them, just having the material over my lap while I was pinning it, oh, it was lovely. I might just buy some to wrap around myself. So those are all my makes from January and a couple from December. I really hope you enjoyed that. As I'm new to this, it would be really helpful if you think there is anything else that I should be adding to this. in terms of explanation or details that you would prefer to know, whether that's me speaking or just in the comments, the description below, it doesn't matter. Please let me know, because it's really, really helpful. And again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll upload a February plans make very soon. Bye, take care.